Merry Christmas.
I'd like to call to order the December 21st meeting of the Oklahoma City Metropolitan Area Public Schools Trust. The first order of business will be to elect a vice chair pro tem. Do I hear a motion?
In the absence of a vice chair or chair, I'd like to nominate Carrie Decker as vice chairman pro tem for the day.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, please
Aye.
vote. Okay. Vice chair.
Well, luckily the motion passes. I guess the second order of business will be to approve the minutes of the December 7th, 2010 Oklahoma City Metropolitan Area Public School Trust meeting. Has everybody had a chance to review those, and do we have a motion?
Yes, I've reviewed them. I'll make the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We'll vote. Meeting minutes are approved. Third, Mr. Winger, we have our financial reports. Can we take all these in totality and vote on them at the end?
I would be happy to. The first two are related. Let me cover those first, and the third is a specialty item for your agenda today. The first is the Trust Revenue and Obligation Report for October 2010. This is the report that we include the attachments each month. Total trust revenue to date exceeds $570 million. The other item of interest that I might point out on this report is that the suburban total is now below the $15 million mark from about the $150 million that we began with the program several years ago. And so most of those districts are looking at those, and we're starting to see closeouts on certain ones as well. The trust the trust payments report period November 9th through December 8th is your second item. It's also attached. There is $6.7 million on 86 trust payments and $1.2 million on 11 bond payments attached for your information. And then I'd be happy to move to item 3 if you're ready.
Any questions on the revenue or the payments from anyone? Let's take 1 and 2, and then we'll vote on those, and we'll take
Okay.
the financial report separately, if that works for everyone.
Yeah, that's fine.
A motion on the revenue trust, or the trust revenue and the payments on A and B.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
We'll vote. Accepted the trust revenue and payments reports, and now we can move on to accepting the audited financial report for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2010.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Each of you should have in your packets the audited financials for the trust. It's a document that we received each year. We do have a new auditor this year. Previously, it had been Grant Thornton. This year, it's BKD. The audit's basically, it's a clean audit. You'll find that in the auditor's findings, at least from a financial perspective. What you'll also find is attached, and it's near the end, is there is a finding. It's a difference of something we've not seen in the past. The accounting for the capitalized administrative costs have come into question on the procedures that have been used by the city's accounting division. So you'll find that discussion on the last page of the report. You'll also have attached a letter that is for additional information. But there is agreement that some of the procedures need to be changed, and so that's being done. But again, we do have the details attached. I also have Glenn Early, the city's controller, here to answer any questions that you might have regarding that one particular finding.
Sorry, what was it?
So the report really is, the accounting portion of the report, the financials are fair and favorable, and you'll find that in the majority of the report. If you'll actually look at the last page of the report, you'll see that there is a schedule of findings and responses. There is a finding number 10-1 that is included there. And there's some questions that were raised regarding the procedures that are used for capitalizing administrative expenses. I think one of the things that provides some difference on the Maps for Kids program is the fact that we actually manage school projects that are not technically owned by the city of Oklahoma City. We're using a sales tax fund that is a city's tax fund, but when the projects are completed, those are actually transferred in whole to the school district. The way that accounting has in the past capitalized administrative costs is viewed differently by BKD than it has by the previous auditors, and that is the finding in this report. And so they've asked for the city to consider some changes to its procedures, and we are in agreement. And our city's accounting division will be making those changes as a part of the response. This was more of a procedural issue, not a dollars issue. So the dollars are clean. This is a procedural comment that has been made as a part of the report. And I can have Glenn come up and explain it in more detail, too. I would invite him up if there's questions particular. Capitalizing the administrative costs. So our office, the MAPS office,
Are you capitalizing those costs?
yes, they are, but the way that they're being capitalized is being changed. So to not get into great detail, but to try to better understand that, it has been recommended that as projects are progressively completed, that those expenses be capitalized ongoing and not waiting until a project is 100% completed. We have been 100% completing projects before we transfer assets. It's being asked now that we transfer those sooner. So it's not a fact that it wasn't being, it's just how we're doing it, and so that's the change.
And it's a new auditor.
Yeah. Huh?
It's just how the new auditor views how it should be done.
Okay.
So we don't have any concerns about the report, but I did want to bring that to your attention in case you got into reading the findings or you read the letter that was also included as one of the attachments.
Okay.
Just wanted to give you that assurance that all has been handled.
Any further questions? Do we have a motion to accept the financial report for 2010?
So move.
Second? Second. We'll vote on the acceptance. Motion passes. Thank you. Next on the agenda is approve the schematic design for Webster Middle School, Project ES0069.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're pleased to bring this first of two presentations to you today. We do have Shane Murray here from Mass Architects to provide Webster Middle School update and answer any questions that you might have.
Hi. Thank you all for having me here today to present the schematic report for Webster Middle School. The brief outline of this presentation is going to include the scope of the project, site and facilities assessment, our recommended scheme, and then a brief look at the cost estimate and the project schedule. The scope of the project is to create a contemporary learning environment for 7th and 8th grade that's going to have a total capacity of 825 students. The way we're going to accomplish this is by completely renovating the existing facility and then utilizing a few small additions to accommodate the additional square footage needed to meet the program. Site and facilities assessment is pretty typical of what you see on most schools. However, there are a few items, such as mechanical and electrical, that have remained pretty much intact since the original construction in the mid-'60s. So these are going to be two items that are going to really be looked at and be reworked to bring it up to modern standards. Some of the other items will be new flooring, paint, ceiling tiles, and a lot of other cosmetic things that a lot of people would notice walking in the school. On our recommended scheme, we took the approach of utilizing an infill technique with these interior courtyards that were originally built into the school. These courtyards were originally intended for outdoor teaching areas and never really reached their full potential. They've been severely underutilized and not much vegetation grows there anymore, and they've become a bit of a security risk as well. So as you can see, we've got the central courtyard is getting completely infilled with two small additions down in the southern courtyard. As one enters the building, the main difference that you'll notice in this floor plan is the relocation of the admin suite. It's now up front and center, directly in front of the main entrance, which provides for great security and vision of that entry. Currently, it sits just below that courtyard in the area where the two 8th grade classes and computer rooms are, and it sits off in such a position that it doesn't have any vision of who comes in and out of the school, and people walking in don't really know where they're going to find the office. Additionally, to infilling that central courtyard with the admin, we're utilizing two smaller additions in the southern courtyard, which are going to completely elongate the north and south corridors running through the school. That way, no one has to go outside anymore to get from one corridor to the next, and really gives us some vital square footage back without having to tack on an exterior addition somewhere and getting away from the overall image of the school. Oh, I'm sorry. The way the school is organized is up in the northern part of the block is all the group functions, cafeterias, gyms. the elective classes, and in the bottom is where all the core academic classes happen. This we feel will help minimize the travel distance and time for students traversing throughout the school. Some of the advantages of this, our main advantage that we see is that security issue. It's now going to be right up front and center. Everyone sees it, and everyone has a complete view of that entry, and really allow for people to wayfind throughout the school. It's going to allow for a clear zoning of the academic spaces as well, so that we can separate out the core academic classes from the electives and some of the other group activities that go on in the school. One of the disadvantages is going to be the cost associated with building within that interior courtyard. However, we feel pretty confident that that's the most satisfactory design technique for this school. It's really going to retain the overall image of the school and create a much better interior layout for the staff and the students as well. With remodel being the primary aspect of this school, that's going to get most of the budget at a little over $4.6 million, with the addition coming in at just over $1.4. That puts us about $2,500 under the budget at this stage. The way we see the project schedule going is finishing up the construction documents sometime in June, and then bidding it and awarding it in November. By that time, we'll be able to start construction in December and give us approximately 13 months to finish the construction of the school. It's going to be a tight window, so one of the things that we've proposed with our phasing program is the use of portables. With this being a year-round school, we don't have the 3 summers to work through, and with it being such a tight window to finish it out by 2012, utilizing some portable buildings, we'll be able to jump different phases of the school into those portables while that area of the school is being renovated. And then, of course, the additions will be able to be constructed year-round. Any questions?
Any questions or discussion regarding the design of Webster? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second. We will vote on the item. Design item passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next up, we have agenda item number 5, the approval of the preliminary design report for Arthur Elementary School Project ES0063. Eric?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We do have Andrew Siemens here from Boynton Williams and Associates to make this presentation and answer any questions that you might have.
Hello, I'm Andrew Siemens with Boynton Williams Associates Architects, licensed architect, here to present to you the Arthur Elementary School preliminary design presentation. Got the project scope here, new construction and renovation of Arthur Elementary School into a contemporary pre-K through 6th grade education facility with a capacity of 604 students. The existing facility is 32,925 square feet. The proposed addition is 24,689 square feet for a combined total of just under 58,000 square feet. The new addition includes some admin spaces, student services, health clinic, additional classrooms, information technology, special needs, facility space, restrooms, and with any building circulation mechanical. Renovations include playground equipment. Some other things you see there: brick cleaning, window replacement, window blinds, floor covering, ceiling tile, lighting upgrade, plumbing upgrade, fencing replacement, paint interior, door hardware, electrical upgrade, exterior painting, parking and paving improvement. What you see here is the proposed new addition with the existing building and the diagonal hatch and the new addition in the shaded hatch. We have some relocating of some temporary portable classrooms that we'll need to coordinate with during construction, and we'll need to relocate some playground areas so that kids aren't playing around the heavy equipment. Rotated the floor plan here to get it to fit on the sheet. If you notice, north is now to the left. Some of the spaces here, as you see the diagonal hatch, that's the existing building. We've got some remodel in there. You'll see that as the brown or the orange coloring. Yellow is the restrooms. I note that there are restrooms also in the pre-K and kindergarten classrooms. Those are their own contained restrooms. Admin services, You see those down towards the main entrance. That'd be the secure entrance there. There's a clinic area, the special needs area. New classrooms and corridors are shaded with the gray, and the Information Technology Center is in the purple. Here's a perspective looking at the main entrance there. The new addition's on your right, the existing building on your left. On the right. I'm sorry, you're on the plan? On this one, the new entrance is on the right. Pardon me? Yes. Here's the west elevation and the south elevation. Here's boys' restroom elevation, girls' restroom elevation, the color patterns we're looking for. There's a typical classroom floor plan for the new. Here's a perspective of the media center looking back towards the circulation desk. We looked at a millwork perspective option with the darker blue cabinets and a light blue cabinet. These are two options for classroom VCT tile pattern. Little subtle differences. Here we have the finished material selection board. The location of the VCT tile is in the classrooms and the hallways. You have carpet in your media center and your admin areas. Ceramic tiles are in any of the restrooms. Quarry tiles in the kitchen remodel. And sealed concrete is in the janitor spaces and the kind of utility spaces. There's a square footage summary for the recommended scheme. We have admin services, approximately 2,000 square feet, student services, approximately 300, health clinic, 250, additional classrooms, 10,600, media services, around 3,000, information technology, 180, special needs, 1,600, faculty spaces, 226, circulation mechanicals, 6,300. Total new construction is just under 25,000 square feet. The existing facility is currently 32,925 square feet, with a new addition adding 24,689 for a total of 57,614 square feet. Cost estimates here, new addition and renovation. New addition being $3.459 million, renovation around $2 million. Total construction estimate of exactly $5,461,960. PIP budget estimate was $5.581,738 million, with a difference of $119,778. I have a schedule here. Currently, you can see we're wrapping up preliminary design, moving into construction documents, December 2010. Have a bidding process of May to June of 2011. Construction starting in July and completing in December of 2012. Any questions?
Thank you. Do we have any questions?
The old entrance, go back to the floor plan. So the old entrance would be there in the middle of the screen towards the bottom. Yes. And if we have the, we'll go back to the parking layout, I'll show you. You can see that the new addition comes out closer down Independence Avenue towards that main entry.
Any other questions? Do we have a motion to accept the preliminary design?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. We'll vote on the item. Item passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
You too. Agenda item number 6 is the approval of the architectural services contract with the Architectural Partnership PC for the new downtown elementary school for the fee of $708,500 and assign Terracon Consultants, Inc. and GMR and Associates, Inc. as testing laboratories for Project ES0035.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We finished up the negotiations of this contract after being authorized at the end of October. And what makes this contract a little bit different than other school projects is that it includes a task for site selection services. And this is for the new downtown elementary school. TAP was selected to do that work. So as you look at the fee, you'll see that it is somewhat higher than our other schools projects, but it includes that whole separate task. We plan to go through a community process utilizing at least a committee of stakeholders to help us make some of the decisions as we move forward, anticipating that we'll engage some of our trustees, school board members, city council, and some at-large representatives, and we'll be bringing back that site selection report independently of the design. It won't start the design until we've actually selected a site. And so we are recommending approval of this contract so that we can move forward.
Just as a point of, Mr. Chairman, how much authority do we have on the site selection?
We've put together a committee to evaluate that, and there's two people off the school trust, and so Carl is sitting on that with Valerie.
Okay.
And there'll be 2 city council representatives, 2 off the school board,
Okay.
and then 2 at-large members, and that's Larry Nichols and
Kirk Humphreys.
Kirk Humphreys. So it's
We're in good hands. Thank you.
The meetings of those site selection committees, will they be posted public meetings?
They most likely will not. I mean, we're not looking at them as public meetings, but all the recommendations will be brought forward for approval. Obviously, as we look at site, there will be a report developed by the architect that will include all the information. We don't anticipate a very different process than what we've gone through in the past when we were evaluating the high school locations. I mean, we're looking to engage a process that's very open to look at all available sites, make sure that we go through identifying criteria for selection that are compatible with each of the individual user groups. But then ultimately, again, bringing back that report for formal approval before we move forward with the design. So it's something that will be coming back to this trust for consideration.
Any other questions? Do we have a motion to approve the contract for services?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We'll vote on the agenda item. The item passes. Thank you. Next, moving into change orders. Number 1 is the approval of change order number 2 for Coolidge Elementary School, an increase of $59,690 on project ES0032.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Coolidge is actually in its, I don't want to say final completion stages, but it's over 90% complete to date. And so this is only change order number 2 that's occurred on this project. It is nearly $60,000. But when you look at the total changes on the project, it's just 1.1% total. There are 2 significant items that are included. You'll find those on page 2, and they make up the majority of this change order. The first is some additional asbestos removal that was required for almost $15,000. You also find that there's some HVAC ductwork and grill modifications that were necessary as a part of the construction for about $10,000. Architect is JHBR. The contractor is Atlas General Contractors, and we recommend approval.
Any questions?
Nope.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion. Thank you.
Thank you. A second. We'll vote on approval. Item passes. Thank you. The next change order is change order number 5 for Scheidler Elementary School, an increase of $42,219.36, project ES0038.
Thank you. Scheidler is just about 80% complete. We've had several change orders, some significant remodel challenges that we've had in that older historic school. $42,000 in changes, and 2 of them that are most significant are some gas service and condensate drains that were omitted from the drawings, $17,641. There's also some landscape revisions that were required by the Scenic River Overlay Design District, which that school is sited in that location, which required the additional improvements. Total changes, including this change order, would be 6.1%. The contingency funds are available, and we recommend approval.
All right, any questions?
No, that's good.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
We will vote on that change order. The item passes. Thank you very much. Item number 8, update from Mr. Couch.
Mr. Chairman, a couple of things. We took some bids recently. Last Tuesday, we took bids on Belle Isle. There were 7 bidders. The low bid was by Shiloh Enterprises for $4.3 million, and that's about $600,000 over the program implementation plan budget. Most of the increases appeared to be in the mechanical and the electrical, and some increases in the new window costs that were there. We're looking at that, and we'll have a recommendation back to you at the next trust meeting on that. We also took bids today on Oak Ridge Elementary. There were 6 bidders, and the low bid was J.L. Walker, $3.1 million, and that's very close to the budget on that project. Of the 2007 bond issue projects, the first groups 1 and 2, the gyms and classrooms of the 7 schools each, architectural interviews are scheduled for next week, next Wednesday on December 30th. And I guess that's next Thursday. And then Group 12, which is the Taft and Spiegel Stadiums, architectural advertisements are to be advertised this week with letter of interest that will be due in January. So we've been requested by the school district to move forward on those projects. As we look forward to 2011, we'll be bringing forth to you a contingency fund report in January showing where we're at. And the bottom line is we're sitting pretty good on the contingency and should have clearly adequate funds to finish the program successfully. There are the final 19 school projects will be bid this calendar year, or calendar year 2011, with the exception of the downtown elementary school and the admin building. And those will probably be the 2 remaining. So we're getting toward the end of our program. The start and design of the bidding of the first 2007 bond issue projects will occur in 2011, and it's anticipated completion of the 2007 bond issue gym, classrooms, and stadium projects by 2015. We'll have continued groundbreakings and ribbon cuttings events as the projects enter and complete construction throughout 2011. So it'll be kind of a hallmark year for us. And we'll meet again 2 weeks from today on Tuesday, January 4th.
Any questions regarding the update? Thank you. Do we have an update from our consultant, or is that included in our packet? All information is included in the monthly report from ADG. We have any comments from trustees, citizens, or staff? Seeing none, happy holidays, and we're adjourned. Thank you.